And welcome back to Brant Life. All right, we are welcoming Madison Brown, who is the Public Education Coordinator for the Alzheimer Society of Brant, Holloman, Norfolk, Hamilton, Halton.
It's long,
okay,
I know.
and we have Aileen Bradshaw, who is the Director of Development. And so wonderful to have you guys here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Now, I am understanding that this is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and so what a great time to become aware about Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
What do we need to be made aware of? This is when you go, all right, let's educate our world on Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Yeah. So what we really try to focus on is prevention and well-being. So how can you reduce your risk of developing a dementia? And how can you maintain an overall better well-being even after a diagnosis of dementia? And with that, we focus on brain health. So what can we do to strengthen our brains? So
what can we do to strengthen our brains?
So we are focusing on three main things for focusing on our brain health. So we're looking at a healthy diet, which not so much as a mandated diet that you have to follow, but prioritizing certain foods like leafy greens, vegetables, fruits, whole grains.
Leafy greens. You know, the number of people that tell me to eat these leafy greens.
Then there's a reason.
All right.
There's a reason.
All right.
They are packed with nutrients that are really, really good for your brain health. Prioritizing poultry and fish, and then reducing a little bit more on the end of red meat and cheese, which everyone always gives me a hard time about because people don't like to give up their cheese. But
reduce a little bit.
It's about reducing and not eliminating. And then, of course, you know, your deep fried foods, your sweets, all that stuff. And then alongside that, we are prioritizing physical activity.
Okay.
And whatever that looks like for you is great. Everyone has different abilities, but essentially just, you know, getting your blood pumping, sending those nutrients and oxygen to your brain is going to strengthen your brain. And it's going to help reduce the cardiovascular risk factors for dementia too.
You know that catchphrase we've been saying for a year, healthy heart, healthy brain.
Yeah.
We've been sort of saying that and playing around with it, but now there's real evidence and science that
they really do go
heart
hand
health
in hand.
equates to brain health.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah, what's good for your body is good for your brain, and in turn, it's reducing your risk of, you know, diabetes, stroke, any other cardiovascular risk factors. Which also, if you do have any of those things, they increase your risk of developing dementia.
Present.
So
I was going to make a comment that all of the things that you were saying about diet are the exact same spiel that I got when I got my. So you have diabetes.
Yeah.
So it means health.
It's
really.
not rocket science.
Yeah.
It really is overall well-being. And then the third thing that we advocate for is to build and maintain social connections. Having that social engagement and that cognitive stimulation that comes with, you know, being social and talking to other people is also going to help build more connections in your brain and keep it stronger and healthier.
Eileen, why is that? Like, what's the purpose of or not the purpose of, but what's the social connection have to do with something like this?
Well, I mean, you're out and you're learning a new interest. You're conversing, you're having conversations with people, you're listening, you know, to people, and your brain is always working. Any of those things that you're doing, you know, it's all helping for your brain.
Yeah.
And we offer quite a few programs, a lot of programs that combine social activity and exercise activity, and they're very, very popular throughout all of our region. And it's something if clients or even non-clients, I mean, there's Fit to Be Fit classes, Minds in Motion, should contact us and ask about some of these programs. And our website's a great place too to go in and to look at that as well.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the idea of preventative brain positive eating and activity isn't something I don't think that the average person thinks about in the trying to be able to prevent any sort of different dementias or Alzheimer's.
Absolutely. And I mean, there is a certain element of dementia where we don't know why one person gets it and another person doesn't, but there are things that we can do to lower our risk. So that's what we're looking at, and that's why we're focusing on those big ones that are really accessible and attainable for everybody, no matter what, because you can find ways to, you know, build those things into your lifestyle.
And how is it different after a diagnosis? Is it a similar recommendation?
Absolutely, yes. When you get a diagnosis of dementia, that doesn't mean it's the end. You absolutely can live well with dementia, and there are, years ahead after that diagnosis. So you want to make sure that you are maintaining the cognitive abilities and functions that you have for as long as you can, and you can do that by maintaining that strength in your brain and building those connections and using them as much as possible.
What are some of the things that people can, because this is actually a wonderful opportunity for people to learn more about this. Like, how do people find the resources to be able to learn more about it?
Well, going online. So our website is alzda.ca, which I know is hard for people to remember, but alzda.ca is our website. So that's a great resource. And there's also links to Alzheimer Canada has a lot of great resources as well, especially about January Awareness Month. So, you Google, nice to stay on the Canadian sites, even though there are other sites. I know Australia and the UK have a lot of great resources. So, I mean, if you Google Alzheimer's Society and Dementia on the websites, are on lots of stuff's going to come up. You can contact us, call any of our offices. We have program guides that we can send people, literature about any of our programs. You don't have to call just to become a client. You can call and we'll just send you some information to sort of start you thinking on some things that you can do to help.
And all of our programs, education, social, health and wellness, our counseling services and support groups are free and available and accessible to anybody.
And since COVID, we've certainly gone online. We have lots of program that's in person, but we offer a lot of online now, which is new the last 3 or 4 years, like everybody. So, and a lot of people prefer the online. They're at home. They're comfortable. Maybe they don't have to find somebody to help with the person that they're taking care of. So we offer sort of a mixture of online and in-person education,
which is super important. It really is super important. And while COVID was no fun for any of us, it forced a lot of us to be able to find new ways to be able to bring important information to people. So you can check that out at alzda.ca.
Yes.
Got it. And this is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and we thank you guys for all the work you do. Alzheimer's is something that touches many families. It's touched mine, and any of these resources are so vital, especially when people are dealing with tough situations. So thanks so much for all you do in the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me on Brand Life this week. We'll be back next week with more great people and more great stories. Take care. Bye-bye.